So I smoked weed before every first date for like 6 years straight. 6 years, bro. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, I mean, every single one. Whether it was a Tinder date, a Hinge date, a setup from a friend, a girl I met at a bar, whatever. Like, didn't matter. I had to be smacked before I walked in there. And I want to talk about this because I mean, I look back at it now and I'm like, yeah, no wonder I was zero for everything, dude. Like, no wonder my dating life was such a mess for so long. So let me like set the scene a little bit. This started when I was about 17, I think, maybe 18. And I mean, the original reason was, I was an anxious little kid. I've talked about this before. I was the shortest dude in my freshman class. Kids were calling me Ellen DeGeneres. I had no confidence with girls, like none. So when I started smoking and I realized, oh, this stuff just turns the brain volume down, I was like, okay, this is the move. And the first time I actually smoked before a date, I think I was like 18. It was a girl from my high school. And I mean, I crushed it, bro. I was so chill. And I was just laughing at everything. She was laughing at everything. It was the best date I had ever been on. And in my little walnut brain, I made this connection. I was like, oh, weed makes me good at dates. That's the algorithm. Got it. Locked in. So that became my pre date ritual for the next 6 years of my life. And like, I want to be honest about why, not just be like, oh, I was anxious, because it was more than that. Smoking before a date, it gave me this fake confidence that I was so desperate for. Like I would face a J in the car, walk into the bar, and I would feel like I was floating. Like I was charming, I was funny, I was unbothered. And the girl could feel it. At least I thought she could feel it. Like I was confident, so I was attractive. That's what I told myself. But I mean, here's the thing, and this took me literally years to figure out. The version of me on those dates, that wasn't me. That was a chemically altered version of me that I was sending in to do my job for me. It's like sending an avatar, you know what I mean? Like I would send my smoked out avatar on the date, and if she liked the avatar, cool, we go on a second date. And then on the second date, I would smoke again, send the avatar again. Third date, avatar again. So if things actually started to work out, if a relationship started to develop, the relationship wasn't with me, it was with the avatar. And eventually, dude, the real me has to show up. You can't keep the avatar going forever. And when the real me showed up, the girl would be like, wait, who are you? You're not the guy I was dating. Where's the chill, funny dude from those first few dates? And I'd be like, sorry, he's busy, he's on assignment. You're stuck with the real one now. And then the relationship would just die every single time. So I had this pattern. Like I would have great first dates, great second dates, great third dates, and then somewhere around like date 5 or 6, the whole thing would just collapse. And for the longest time, I couldn't figure out why. I was like, what is going on, bro? Like things start so well and then they just go to nothing. And I was blaming the girls, I was blaming the city. I was blaming dating apps. I was blaming like the modern dating landscape and the jester economy and all that stuff. Whole time the variable was me. It was always me. And specifically, it was the fact that I was sending an avatar. I want to talk about something that like this is the part that really gets dark, honestly. When you condition yourself to only be able to talk to girls when you're smacked, you're basically telling your brain you cannot do this sober. You are too cooked to do this sober. So over time, your brain just accepts that as fact. And the idea of going on a date sober becomes terrifying, like more terrifying than the date itself. So you're trapped. You can't go on a date without smoking, but smoking is the thing that's making the dates fail. So you're just stuck in this loop, and the loop slowly, I mean, it just eats your confidence alive. Like every failed relationship made me more convinced that I needed to be smacked next time. And being more smacked next time made the relationship fail faster. It was just this brutal spiral. And here's the thing I didn't realize until way later, but the smoking, it wasn't just affecting how I came across, it was affecting what I remembered. Like, I would go on these dates, and the next day I would be trying to text the girl, and I couldn't remember what we talked about. Like, I'm sitting there with my phone, and I'm trying to reference something from the date, and I'm like, wait, did she say she had a sister? Or was that the girl from last week? Was she the one who studied abroad in Spain? Or was that someone else? My brain, dude, my brain was just mush. So my follow up game was atrocious. Like, I would send these vague, generic texts because I couldn't remember anything specific. And the girl on the other end is reading it like, oh, this dude clearly was not paying attention because I wasn't. I wasn't paying attention. I was paying attention to the carpet on the floor of the bar. I was paying attention to how cool the lighting was. I was not paying attention to her. Oh, and the food thing, I have to mention this. I had the munchies on every single first date for years. Like, you guys know, if you've smoked, you know what I'm talking about. You hit a J, 20 minutes later, you could eat a horse. So I'm on this date, trying to be smooth, trying to be chill, and I'm just inhaling food. Like, the girl orders a salad, picks at it. I order like the biggest burger on the menu, two appetizers, and I'm tearing through it like it's my last meal on death row. And in the moment, I'm thinking I'm being so charming and easygoing. Whole time, this girl across from me is watching me destroy a basket of fries like a wild animal. Psst, not exactly the vibe I was going for. So, okay, the moment I actually realized this was a problem, there was this girl. I'm not going to get too specific because, I don't want to be weird about it, but like, I really, really liked her. Like, this was a girl I had been crushing on for years. We finally end up going on a date, and I, of course, smoke before because that's my ritual. And the date is going great. Like, we're vibing, we're laughing, the whole thing. And at some point in the night, she asks me a real question, like an actual question. She was like, "What do you want out of life?" or something like that, something real. And I just, bro, I froze because the avatar didn't have an answer. The avatar only knew how to crack jokes and be chill. The avatar didn't have any real opinions or real desires because the real me, the guy with the actual opinions, he was at home, watching TV. He wasn't on this date. So I'm sitting there, this beautiful girl who I've been waiting years to go out with is asking me a real question, and I'm just blanking, just smiling, just nodding, just making up some generic answer that meant nothing. And I could see it in her eyes, dude. I could see her go, "Oh, there's nothing here. He's not actually present." And the date kind of fizzled after that. We went on like two more, and then she ghosted. And I mean, I deserved it because I never actually showed up to those dates. The avatar did. That was the moment. That was when I was like, all right, this is the problem. This is the actual problem. And, around the same time, I was starting to question all my weed use anyway, like I've talked about in other videos. So this was kind of the final straw. I was like, all right, I have to stop doing this. I have to go on a date sober just to see what happens. And oh my God, the first date I went on sober, ugh, it was awful. It was so awful, bro. Like, I cannot stress how bad it was. I was sweating in places I didn't know I could sweat. My hands were like ice cold and shaking. I forgot how to make eye contact. Like, I'm not even joking. I forgot how the eyes work. I was either staring at her too hard, like maximum intensity, or I was looking everywhere except at her, like I was trying to spot a sniper in the corner of the bar. There was no in between. I was like drinking water way too fast. I asked her like three questions in a row and didn't let her finish answering any of them. I was a mess. And I left that date being like, oh no, oh no, dude. Like, I am cooked. I have no idea how to do this. I have been doing this for almost a decade and I have no idea how to do this because, like, the actual reps I should have been getting since I was 17, I never got them. I was getting reps as the avatar. The avatar got 8 years of practice. The real me got none. So I'm 23 at this point, and I'm going on my first sober date basically, and it's a disaster. And I'm thinking to myself, like, am I just gonna be alone forever? because, you know, if this is what I'm like sober and the smacked version doesn't actually work either, like, where do I go from here? But I mean, here's the thing. And this is what I want anyone watching this to actually take away from the video. Like, if you're going through this same thing, the first sober date is the worst one. The second is a little better. The third is a little better than that. It's like reps in the gym, you know? Like the first time you bench press, you're shaking, you can barely move the bar. By the 30th time, you're moving real weight. Social skills are the same thing. Sober dating is the same thing. I had to start from zero at 23, and it was humiliating and it was awful and it took a long time. But like by date number 10, 15, 20, I could actually hold a conversation without panicking. I could actually be present. I could actually remember what the girl said the next day. You know what I mean? I could text her something specific. And I started to notice, oh, the dates are going way better now. Not because I'm chiller, but because I'm actually there. Like my whole body is in the chair across from her, not just an empty meat suit operated by THC. And here's the wild part: the thing I was so afraid of, like being boring without weed, being awkward without weed, being too anxious without weed, I mean, none of that was actually true. The real me, when he showed up, was way more interesting than the Avatar ever was. The Avatar could only do like surface level, chill guy stuff. The real me could actually talk about books, talk about philosophy, talk about like real things I cared about, things I had real opinions on. The Avatar didn't have opinions. The Avatar was a chill little robot. The real me is a guy with a personality. And I mean, who would have thought like girls actually want to date a guy with a personality? They don't want to date a chill little robot. Mind blown, bro. Mind blown. So I guess what I want to say to anyone who's in this loop right now, like the bros who are pre-gaming every date with a J or a card or whatever your thing is, I get it. I really do. Because the anxiety before a date is real. Like that pre-date pit in your stomach, that's a real feeling. And smoking does take it away. I'm not going to pretend it doesn't. It does. But the price you pay is you never actually go on the date. The avatar goes on the date. And the avatar can't sustain a relationship. The avatar can't be a partner. The avatar can't love anyone because the avatar isn't real. And oh, I want to say one more thing about this. Like, I think a huge part of why so many dudes my age are struggling with relationships in general is some version of this. It might not be weed. For some guys, it's alcohol. Like, they have to be drunk to even talk to a girl. For some guys, it's, social media where they're performing a version of themselves online. And then when the girl meets the real them, she's like, wait, that's not what your Instagram looked like. For some guys, it's like gym persona, gym bro persona, where they're so locked into being the alpha that they can't just be a person. It's all the same problem. We are all sending avatars. And then we wonder why no one wants to date us. They don't want to date us, they want to date the avatar. And the avatar isn't available because the avatar isn't real. So, my advice, if you can call it advice, like I'm still figuring this stuff out too, is just try one sober date. Just one. It's going to be the worst date of your life. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be brutal. You're going to want to die, but you'll survive. And then you go on a second one, and then a third, and, eventually it'll feel normal. Eventually, the real you will be in the chair and not the avatar. And that's when actual things can happen. Like, that's when love is even a possibility because love is not for avatars. Love is for people, real, awkward, anxious, sweating in weird places people. That's who gets loved, not the chill, smacked guy who can't remember her name the next morning. I don't know, man. I think about this a lot. Like, I think about all the relationships that could have actually been something if I hadn't sent the avatar. I think about the girls who probably would have liked the real me if they had ever met him. And yeah, that's a thing I have to live with. But it also pushes me to make sure I don't keep doing it. To make sure that, the dates I go on now, the people I meet now, they're meeting me, not some version of me I outsource to a vape pen. All right, that's it for me. This was like kind of a confessional today, I guess. Huge shout out to everyone in the Patreon, the Cheddars. We got the book club going. Links below if you want to check it out. And like, shout out to anyone out there going on their first sober date this week. You're gonna survive, I promise. Just drink some water. Don't drink it too fast. And when she asks you a real question, just answer it. Be there. Talk soon. Peace.